Hello, and thank you for joining IBN News for another special news report. I'm Charity Heimerman.
And I'm Kim Kaziaka.
Many of our viewers may or may not be familiar with the kings of the East as spoken of in Revelation chapter 16. This scripture has baffled scholars for centuries.
In this segment, we take a deeper look at this scripture, as well as a documentary that is shaking up history books. IBN News correspondent Tina Wallace has more for us on this story.
Thank you, Kim. Lust, greed, wealth, war, sickness, and disease. A combination like this seems both uncanny and one that belongs in Hollywood movies. However, these words are describing results that the house of Yahweh says comes from the way of the kings of the East. We here at IBN News set out to find who these kings are, how the Catholic Church may be involved, and what this all means for you. Many were on alert after news broke that the Euphrates River was drying up due to Turkish and Syrian water policies. The New York Times mentioned the event's connection with biblical prophecy, but only stopped there. The prophecy tells us that the drying up of the Euphrates River was to make way for the kings of the East. But who are they ruled by? Where do they come from? These answers and more may shock you. The house of Yahweh says that it goes back, as far back as the beginning, or what some call Genesis. History shows us that the Nimrod in Genesis 10 was in fact not a person, but a system that was set up. The system was in fact established by a group that had sprung up out of the family of the 12 tribes that had been brought out of Egypt. This system was in the biblical land of Babel, or Shinar, and spread to other places. The Nimrod system was based on the lust for money and personal gain and was later established as the schools of higher learning, which we can still see today. From there, a religion had turned into a commercial operation, and the people who created it would later become known as the Pharisees, Sadducees, and Essenes, who would later become the priests called Catholic. Out of the earlier institutes came leaders of the people and by the people, the same thing we see in the leaders that rule and govern our countries today. As a result, the lust for money, power, and land has led to nations raising armies who take land, resources, and money from other nations. History also shows us that vain religious customs were fostered by these groups, customs carried over from generation to generation. Christmas, Halloween, Easter, or the worship of Astarte, the fertility goddess. And now I pass it back to the IBN News Desk for the latest headlines that put into view these results.
Thank you, Tina. I think that was a very interesting history lesson there, Kim. Now, you've heard the saying that money is the root of all evil. Money and power, the very things that have been taught through the Nimrod system, are shaping our land, food, health, and general well-being.
The latest headlines have shown us how deadly our food supplies are. According to a report from ABC News, simple foods such as meat contain several toxic additives such as pesticides and heavy metals. As a result of the love of money, healthy foods are dwindling while corporations fight to find new and questionable chemical and bioengineered substitutes for food.
War for resources also contributes to rising gas prices and tensions in the Middle East. Some are saying that greed is to blame as higher-level politicians and policymakers push forward wars in Iraq, Pakistan, and Libya.
Uncontrolled lust, something that is said also to be fostered out of the system, has caused sexually transmitted diseases to reach epidemic proportions. The CDC estimates that there are 19 million new cases of sexually transmitted diseases each year. The House of Yahweh says all of these and more are a result of the ways of the kings of the East.
When you look at these results, it may be easy to see what these ways of the kings of the East brings to mankind: war, poverty, hatred, disease, and death. Israel Hawkins of the House of Yahweh teaches that the only solution can be found written in the prophet's writings.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to watch our next report as we uncover what the Middle East uprisings mean to you. Once again, I'm Kim Kaziaka. On behalf of the entire IBN News staff, thank you for watching this segment of IBN News, the world's only true news source.